Scarpins Avenue.
Dan and Ren and Jay will share tales of folks so unaware they lack in grace and sometimes choose the life they choose will make the news. Breaking down each epic fail in Florida, there's half-price bail. I'm happy to say they couldn't make this up. So listen to our podcast jam with co-hosts Arm and Dan. Bender, don't be a jerk, cause when the music hits, the funny hits, and we are gonna take you down. Stick around. Make a sound, hunker down, it's Dumb People Town.
Hey Townies, welcome to a Friday episode of Dumb People Town. Population you.
Population Gailey.
Megan Gailey.
Hi, Megan
welcome
Gailey.
to the show.
I love when you guys turn it on.
Right?
I just love it. I love it. I mean, I don't mean turn it on, but just
Fire
to
up.
see you work. I love.
Fire up the machine.
Look, we just wanted to have an episode full of people who have crushed it on the NFL Network. That's all we're going for.
Wow,
Dan
crushed
did.
it, and then crushed it so hard they said,
Right.
"Be on your way."
We're good.
Goodbye.
Yeah, they're like, you gave us everything you had, and we appreciate it.
Yeah.
Because if the NFL is known for one thing, it's about valuing people after they've given you everything they can.
It's about moving
Yeah.
on. It's about moving on. It's about not respecting Colin Kaepernick, which none of us did. I'm just kidding. It is so good. First of all, you are one of our favorite people to talk sports with because you are so deeply entrenched in the world and can hang and go toe to toe with.
And you also
anybody.
rep a fan base that
No
you're the
one
only
reps.
friend of ours who's like a huge Indiana Pacers fan.
So that's always a joy. So it always feels like
What's the
like
third-
an indulgence to be
What's
able to
the-
just go talk
What's
to
the
you.
30 for 30? Is it Reggie in the Garden?
Winning time.
Winning time.
Did you honestly ask her? She knew that, like right
Of
away.
course she knew. That's
I know
why I was
you're-
asking, because I couldn't remember the title of it. And
I know
want-
your listeners can't see this, but this is Boomer with hugging a heart with my name on it.
Love it.
That's just
ridiculous.
on my desk, just here with me.
So, but you do, what I love about it is that you do have a real, to be a great sports fan, I feel like you have to have such an eye for the specific and to be able to point out in the world of sports, the bullshit of the world. And you do this so well in your stand-up comedy as well. You're a fantastic stand-up. For those who have not seen her do what she does,
is great. I
we have
love
seen
it
you
here.
many times crush shit
I
at
can
the store.
remember. I can remember.
Belly room just
but also
slaying.
upstairs for a TV taping at Montreal. Watching you tape a TV set on a show that we were also on that you were fantastic. John Doerr's show.
Yeah, so
that
good.
that was the last Montreal.
I know,
That
the
was
last
the-
one that we could do.
Really,
because
really
of the-
fun.
Well, it's just I'm so happy you're here. You hate dumb behavior,
you.
and so do we. Let's get into a story, shall
Let's
we?
do it.
Ready to do it?
Yes.
This was sent in by Derek L. Mans at Game Design Dude.
You the mans.
And
But what does he do for a living? Just kidding.
He's like, I don't know.
Oh man.
An upstate New York man spent hours trapped in his car after a snowplow buried his vehicle under 4 feet of snow.
What was he doing in there in the first place?
Was it R. Kelly?
Well, this is my parents are from right outside of Niagara Falls, and this happens. Like my
Yes.
mom said, she could walk out her second-story bedroom.
Yes.
like the,
onto
this
a
is-
snowbank?
Yes, just walk right out, and O.J. Simpson was there waiting for her.
With a knife. Jesus Christ. No, trying to date her.
Also, might have been-
Yeah,
and then trying to
he
do-
said, "Peggy, what's up?"
So no,
so
but here's
this
my
is real.
No, this is very
it's
real.
so real.
It's legendary in Rochelle that the winter storm of 78, 79, which was like epic.
Yeah.
When they when they would plow the streets after like a week of nonstop snow, it was essentially like driving down tunnels because the snow was piled up to almost as high as the telephone
Yes.
poles.
That's right. It
So
was
my
a-
mom was like, you would pull out driveways and just be driving down tunnels of
Tubes.
snow. Yes.
Wow.
Snow tubes. It is so funny. The fact that you grew up there. Did you grow up there? You grew up there or no?
No, my parents. My
Did you-
parents grew up in Niagara Falls.
Do you have relatives that did you go there and visit them?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so,
That-
like-
they're the only ones that like left. So we went a lot.
So you go there and it's like June and you're in Niagara Falls or you're wherever you're up that area and like you go to, I don't know, like a Safeway parking lot or some like an IGA and in the
Tops,
corner
Wegmans.
and a Wegmans and in the corner of the parking lot there's like a tiny snowbank in June that like
Yes.
never
That's
melted.
in Rochelle too.
And it's
Yeah.
just black.
And it's like in the
So-
shape of George Washington's head. And you're like, what is that?
Literally, as kids, we would because those in like this time of year right now, those Snow mountains are enormous.
Huge.
And all you're doing is like playing King of the Hill, knocking each other off them, and you're either sledding or falling down into a road.
Right.
Because you're just, it's always in the corner
Yes.
of the parking
Yeah.
lot right next to an intersection.
Yes.
And
But
Very
what-
dangerous.
Very.
Very dangerous.
But I feel. Go ahead.
Ours, we had our parking lot. We would like go into like the giant trash receptacle. Like the sledding hill went, but not the hill. The man-made mountain
yes.
went directly into that,
The
and
dumpster.
kids would just be plowing into dumpsters.
plowing in
constantly.
there. And we would also like, it was a big deal in high school to go during like the like a sleet with freeze or like a little bit of snow, and we would just go to empty parking lots and do donuts.
Yes.
And every year somebody would forget about the part of the parking lot that had like the little bumper like for where your wheels to stop, or somebody would hit a pole. One year, this ties into the story, we all went to Kyle Kissick's house, and his dad worked for Rochelle Municipal Utilities, who had all these Carhartt suits, right? And we
Great.
all put them on, and then we walked like 2 blocks over to Sarah Harper's house, and Tamara Sanders was parked outside of Sarah Harper's house, and she had a little blue Daytona. And it
Sanders.
took us 3 hours. We made her entire car a block of snow and ice.
It's hilarious.
And there was no way. There was no way. It had to
She's
sit
never
there for
getting
like
out.
2 weeks.
So, but
before-
I feel like because of our phones, people are spending an inordinate amount of time still in their car after they've arrived somewhere.
That's what, this guy particularly, yes.
Right? Don't you feel like that's
I don't do that.
You
I
never
I
pull
mean,
into your parking spot or your home, and then it's 10 more minutes of you on the phone.
I
get caught in
think
that
like
a lot.
LA has made me be like, I'm getting the fuck out of this car. You know, I mean, obviously not pandemic now. I could go in New York. I would go in my car and cry. Like it had
Sure,
like
right.
purpose for me there. But in LA, I'm like, let me out, please.
Yeah,
Yes.
because you've been in car because you had to go from the west
Live
side
in
to
that
the east
goddamn
side
car.
at 4 p.m.
Yeah.
It's
All right, Dan, get us into this.
Okay, all right. So he spent hours trapped in his car after a snowplow buried his vehicle. That's the other thing too. Like, what was he doing? Because you know a
Checking
snowplow is coming. That
Tweets.
scrape of like the sled on cement. Yeah. Police received several 911 calls Thursday about a driver who went off the road along State Route 17C and needed help. Have any of you ever put a car in a ditch?
No.
Have you, Megan? Did you ever put a car in a ditch?
Oh yeah.
It's a rite of passage in Indiana, Michigan, and I'm surprised you guys ever did it in college.
Yeah, we did.
I've
We-
never
we
put
have.
a car in a ditch.
Oh yeah,
We did. We did put it.
because we spun out on a very slick thing, and we were in Ohio. We were driving to Ohio. We spun out on a very slick road, and it landed in the ditch right next to the
Okay.
thing. Yeah, it's just.
I mean, I've rolled a car, but I've never like in snow put a car like into a ditch. But in Rochelle, that's like a huge. That's how you know how bad it is. People will tell you like, oh, just came back on 38. There's like 6 cars in the
Yeah.
ditch. Do not go out there today. Like, and
Yeah.
it's just everybody off the
But you've
side.
done that, Megan.
Oh yeah, I mean the highway between Indianapolis and Purdue, it goes up to Chicago too, is 65,
Yes.
and 65 is a disaster. I mean, they close it all the time. You're in a ditch. The last time I drove in snow, I went in a ditch in my mom's car and just like trying to get onto the highway and just looked behind me. No one was coming, so I just backed up out of the ditch, back onto the highway.
Because the crazy thing is, so many times when you go into a ditch, it's the slowest tragic thing happening.
Oh, it's- yeah,
It's because
yeah.
you've already slowed down because you felt it, and then
Yeah.
you just slowly are like, "Well, we're going into the
Going
ditch.
to the ditch.
We're
Here we
going
go.
to the ditch.
There we go.
And
We're in the ditch."
By the way, you could say that emotionally, that's the way most people feel like when they're in Indiana. They're going
Right.
into a ditch.
Or New York crying in their car.
Right.
You're in the
Stop.
ditch.
Easy.
I've been there. Needed help in an Owego in a town in western New York, just a few miles from the Pennsylvania border. However, despite several attempts to find the car, no one could locate it. Oh my Sergeant Jason Cawley of New York State Police learned about the calls and went on the hunt for the wayward
Wait,
vehicle.
they can't like locate my iPhone.
Track my phone.
Like you
Yeah.
can't tell them where
I
he
know.
is. Just say in his phone. Just say,
But no, they've only gotten calls from people who saw the car.
"Oh, so he
Oh,
doesn't have a
okay.
phone."
I don't know.
Maybe he's not
We
getting
don't know.
service.
Oh boy.
As he was driving, that's the cop, he spotted several mailboxes sticking out of the snow piled along the side of the road. He dug through the snow to check the addresses to see where he was and suddenly uncovered a window.
Oh.
Imagine that.
There's just an eyeball sticking
Yes.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't this the plot of Misery too?
Yes.
It is.
I also picture that scene in Weird Science where they pick up the glass and he's under the
No,
table.
that's
in
16 candles.
16 candles. That's what it was. Yes,
And like
yeah.
he picks up
Yeah.
clear off the beer cans, and then you just see like Bryce's eye, and he's like, Jake.
Yeah. So he sees he pushes everything, pushes off, finds the window, right?
Anthony
It
Michael.
wasn't Bryce. It was Anthony Michael Hall.
It was
yeah.
Anthony Michael. On the other side of the glass was Kevin Cresson, and he had been calling 911 from inside.
Wait, are you sure Kevin Cresson isn't also friends with Tam, whoever you were talking about?
What?
Who your friend? No, you said.
Well, there was Nate Kesson, but
Yeah.
Nate Kesson did not help us.
Michael Kissick?
Kyle Kissick,
Kissick.
and his dad Jeff.
These guys
That's
sound
who we
like
got
they're-
the stuff
this
from.
guy sounds
But
like
Nate
he's one of your
Kesson
friends.
did not help
These
us.
are just Western New York names.
Yeah.
Joe. Like this
Kevin
is
Kesson.
what
Yes.
everybody's name is.
Kevin Cresson had been calling 911 from inside the buried automobile for how many hours?
You got to drive by the Cressons and drop off Christmas cookie
You're
pack.
right.
That's
You're
right.
You got to
So,
do.
Megan, how long had he
That's a
had he
good
been
call.
calling?
4 hours.
4 hours. Okay.
It's a long time, Jay.
This is how many hours you think
I think
he
he
had
was
been
calling for 8 hours.
911?
8 hours.
8 hours.
11 hours.
11 hours.
Yep. he
Okay.
freaked out.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to find out what Megan's up to, and we'll find out how many hours Kevin Cresson was trying to get someone to get him out of this goddamn car.
Kevin Cresson be stressing, y'all.
We'll be right back.
Stick around, make a sound. There's more to People Town.
Hey there. You're up for getting down with low prices, right? Well, Kroger goes lower than low on food that's fresher than fresh. So when you're crushing on clementines, seeking a savory salad, or choosy about your chicken, just open the Kroger app. You'll get more ways to save on the fresh you love with personalized coupons, weekly sales, and rewards like fuel points. All for prices that are even lower than the everyday low. So go where you know it's lower than low. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Support for this podcast comes from Progressive. Saving money on your car insurance is easy with Progressive. It's an average savings of $796 for customers who switch and save. In fact, customers can qualify for an average of 6 discounts on their auto policy with Progressive, including discounts just for starting a quote online or owning multiple vehicles. Get your quote online at Progressive.com and see how much you could be saving. National average annual car insurance savings by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive in 2019. Discounts vary and are not available in all states and situations.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. We should mention to everybody that we announced who our next live Dumb People Town guest
Oh
is
my
going
God.
to be on Saturday, January 27th.
February 27th.
Excuse me, February
February
27th. Nowhere Comedy Club. We've got Jack Black and Open Mike Eagle. It is going to be amazing.
Yes.
Live Dumb People Town. It's as fun. That's what I love about this show. This show is fun in every different iteration that we do it in. The live ones on Zoom are amazing. Get your tickets at eventbrite.com.
And they're COVID friendly. You'll be safe. Order in some
It's
food.
like a
and it's
night out while
No
you're
drink
in.
minimum or maximum.
That's right.
That's it. It's just a blast. So we've got all that. And then Daniel, you can mention to your fans.
Oh, yeah. Go to danielvankirk.com if you want to hang out with for a live pen pals with me and Rory, as well as play bingo, where
So
we
fun.
raise money. If you win bingo in the final round, not only do you actually win money, but the same amount of money goes to a no-kill animal shelter or a Big Brothers Big Sisters or a
So
food
cool.
bank in your area. Comics come on and call numbers with me,
I've
and it's
done
just
it.
a lot of fun.
Super fun.
DanielVanKirk.com. Check it out. Megan, what is going on with you, kiddo? You are always doing such great stuff. Are you writing on anything right now? What are you working on?
I am writing on a forthcoming HBO show.
Nice.
It doesn't even have a name yet, so that's how
I'm assuming it's a documentary. Kidding. It's a
Yeah.
comedy.
It's it's gonna be a late night comedy.
Nice.
And then my husband and I host a podcast together
I love it.
called The Greatest, and
good.
we
We've done
break
it.
down our greatest choices in many, many different sports categories.
Yep.
Most recently, we did greatest European NBA players.
Oh my God. Dirk
Tony K,
Nowitzki.
baby.
They're both
that
on the
was a-
Mavericks right now.
That
Tony
was a fun one.
Kukoc.
Yeah. And then I have a forthcoming, I don't even know if I can say this, but I'm going to say it. I have a forthcoming podcast with the Lifetime Network.
Nice.
Ooh. Yes.
Where my Naomi Ekpersian and I are watching Lifetime movies for the Lifetime Network and then
Oh my
breaking them
God.
down for listeners.
Oh my
I love
God.
her.
Now, look,
and
I
you
don't
guys
know
together.
if you guys are taking guests, but if you ever do, I will sign my grandmother, Rosemary Van Kirk, up. She is 90 years old, and she will She will give you any hot take you want on any Lifetime movie. Yeah.
We are I want her. So we're going to get her. We are lucky enough too, where every episode we interview either an actor from the film we just watched, a director, or the writer of the film.
So you're going to have Meredith Baxter Burney on 11 times. That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
This is such a good idea. It's so good. The next thing you have to do is do it for Hallmark Christmas movies. But
it was just really fun when like the contracts were going on. I mean, you guys, sometimes these podcast contracts, it's the Wild West. So and so like they were going back and forth. And then they finally were just like, okay, they can't do a podcast for the Hallmark channel. And we were like, we're not going to do that. That would be insane.
No, but you don't know because those goddamn Christmas movies are crazy.
What episode are you guys going to talk about Mother May I Sleep with Murder? I need
Mother May I Sleep with Murder. You need Burning Bed. I want all of it. Staircase, whatever.
The one I just watched the other night was Pool Boy Nightmare.
Oh. Wow. How could those 3 words exist in the same phrase?
I watched one with my grandma once. I do not know the name. All I know is this guy's daughter died and he like owned the apartment building, and so this other girl moved into an apartment, and then he like hid cameras around her, and then like became obsessed with her, and then he broke her and her boyfriend up, and then he tried to kill her best friend.
When does Liam Neeson kick his ass?
Rosemary and I were riveted to this.
There
movie.
is, by the way,
I was on his side when the daughter died.
Treat Williams, I think, was in it.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah,
okay, great.
Yeah.
Wait, there is a new Liam Neeson movie out where he's basically doing Taken.
Yeah, he's doing a.
He picks up a kid. It's called Coyote. It's the same damn movie. I can't believe it.
I know.
It's happening. You should do that. Anyway, I'm excited about all that stuff that you have going on. And let's get back to this.
Okay. How many hours did Kevin Crescent call 911 for help?
To recap.
Before he was just found by happenstance. He was found because other people saw him go in the ditch.
By mistake.
And then the cop just wanted to know what address he was out in front of.
So Megan said 4 hours. Jay said 8. And I said 11.
Okay. He was in that car for 10 hours.
Oh,
jeez. 10 hours.
Dude, I just sensed that it was a long time.
10
Randy. hours.
10.
That's a long.
That's a nightmare.
Not 9.
What was the movie?
We're not talking about 9. We're not talking about 11.
We're talking about 10.
28 hours. Is that
28
what you're
hours.
thinking of?
Are you getting our blast? Are you getting our blast?
27 hours.
We talking about
27 hours.
Yes.
I think of 28 days later.
28 days later. Remember when that guy sawed his arm off in
I
rehab?
would watch a movie 27 hours, 28 days later. I would watch that movie.
Tried to saw his arm off just to get out of quiet rivers.
Wow. And honestly, like, this takes a cop in upstate New York. Like, you put an LAPD in the same situation, they're not going to understand snow drifts. Like,
right, 100%.
10 hours is kind of the minimum of what it was going to take because this is the guy who was going to find him.
February 2011, I was in Chicago, and they had this storm that's been nicknamed Thunderstorm.
I was there. I lived there.
You were there
then.
too? Okay.
I lived there.
So you remember this. So what happened was at around 3:30 p.m. it started snowing, and then it poured snow. I'm talking mattress sizes of snow.
Yeah.
It for the next 2.5, 3 hours. So during rush hour on Lakeshore Drive at Belmont, which is one of the outlets off Lakeshore Drive, but this is
Which
key.
is where I live.
Yes.
Nice.
A bus jackknifed and closed off all but one lane. Then a car eventually trying to get in that one lane broke down. When you back up south of Belmont, what you are now in between is Belmont Harbor on your west side, and on your east side is Lake Michigan. So thousands of cars got stuck with nowhere to go. They couldn't, if you were at a different part of Lake Michigan, you could just get out and start, or Lakeshore Drive, you could get out and just start walking into your neighborhood. These people, they had to go rescue them because there was nowhere for them to go.
Oh my God.
And they would walk a mile back or forth, which a lot of people didn't have. Like, it was insane.
Oh
It was
I walked up
crazy.
Irving Park Road the next morning. I was the only. It shut down the whole city for like 3 days.
Yeah.
I went to the Jewels on South Point, got myself some Kraft macaroni and cheese spirals and Tombstone pizzas. I loaded up. You were there for that too?
Yeah, I was there for that. I knew it was going to be bad, so I left my apartment, went to my other friend's apartment, Lisa Traeger. I went to Lisa's house so we could annoy everyone she lived with. We watched Human Centipede, and our friends were having a party like the night that it started.
Yeah.
So we were walking out, and a car pulls up, and it was a state of emergency. You could not be driving.
No.
And guys roll down the window. They're like, "Do you want to ride?" And we're like, "Oh, okay. And so we get in, they're driving, they're passing a handle of Jim Beam back and forth in the front seat. And the guy driving goes, don't worry, he's a cop. And the guy who's a cop goes, and don't worry, he's a judge. And then they took us where we were going.
Oh my God.
That reminds me of the time I was on Lawrence and Broadway, and Ronnie Woo Woo just got into my car. And I drove Ronnie Woo Woo from Lawrence and Broadway, like all the way down.
Explain who Ronnie Woo Woo is.
Ronnie Woo Woo is a person who wears a Cubs uniform everywhere he goes. He's like he's the unofficial human mascot of the Chicago Cubs, and he just yells "woo" all the time. And I think I must have like waved or something when I saw him, and he just
eye contact.
He just came and got in my car.
You cannot with Ronnie. I mean, you learn pretty fast with Ronnie. You don't look like I've been places before where we're like, ugh, can we get Ronnie Woo Woo out of here?
Yes, you and Ron Santo.
Get him out of here.
Okay, here we go. The Candor Man suffered from hypothermia.
Yeah. Oh my God.
The Candor Man can.
Or he can't.
He can't. Suffered from hypothermia and frostbite due to the freezing temperatures. His vehicle had no heat because of a broken belt. Now, look, I don't want to. That's what I'm going to say.
It's the wintertime. Fix that belt, yo.
You don't go out.
Don't go out
with
with
that
it.
belt fixed.
That's right.
It's a pandemic. Maybe he didn't have the money. He needed that $2,000. This is Mitch McConnell's fault.
I
This is
totally
Mitch McConnell's
identify.
fault.
I once had a time in my life where I had a car with no heat and I had a space heater hooked up inside my car that I would drive around with.
That's a fire waiting to happen.
I had no money. I had nothing.
I get it.
And I was driving in the winter. He was taken to Lourdes Hospital and treated for his conditions. The region around Owego was pummeled with snow in Tuesday's storm, receiving about 40 inches of snow. Wow. Yeah.
Dan, it is January right now. It is 80 degrees where we are right now outside. That's unhealthy. Like, it's not normal. It's not healthy, but aren't you glad for like 1 second that we're not like battling through craziness?
Oh my God.
I mean,
More than a second.
Oh, yeah. A second. Because you lived in Chicago. No, there's a moment. My kids want to go sledding so badly.
Take them
they
out there.
Once. Yeah,
Take
I
them
want to
out
go
there.
sledding too. But like, we can go in and then come out.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Every time it rains here, I think about what it's going to be like
up in the hills.
2 or 3 days by the time it gets to Illinois. All right, we'll get out of here on this. How old
is the
do
man
you
in the
think
car?
this guy in the car is?
Chris Crescent?
Oh, I need him to not be old. If he's Chris Crescent. This feels like 29.
Kevin Crescent.
Kevin Crescent. Jay, how old is he? 38.
38 years old.
I said 29.
29.
I think he's 23. I think he's young and he's like, I don't need to fix this belt. And like, I'm fine. Nothing's going to happen to me.
Kevin Crescent, the man in the box car,
Is
10 hours.
10
calling
hours.
911,
Hypothermia.
driving with a broken belt, did not have heater when the day started, did not have heat in his body by the time the day was over, found by luck, is 58 years old.
Oh my God.
To me, he's
Now
right in
I'm
the
even-
crease. To me,
now
he's
I'm
right in the
even more
crease, Megan.
upset.
But he's right in the
I'm
crease where you're like, you're young enough.
Dan, he's made a lot of bad
No.
decisions.
Yeah, he's angry.
He's
yeah,
dumb. That was dumb.
He's
That was
angry.
dumb. Wow.
You
I
think
know.
he had a case of Labatt Blue with him?
Oh, I
like
hope so.
Something.
Yeah.
Something. Better have a cooler in there.
Yeah, and probably like a child support check.
There you go. That he didn't pay. And that's it.
There
That's
you
our
go.
story. Oh my God. Megan Gailey, you're the best for joining us. I can't wait to check out the Lifetime movie podcast.
Oh my God. It's going to be great.
I'm not a big Lifetime movie fan, but that is right up my alley. I can't even begin to tell you everything you do is. Hey guys, oh shit, we got to get back to work.
Dum 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 dum. Stick around, make a sound, calm you down. It's Dumb People Town.
Scarpins Audio, a podcast network.